One thing you hear from people who study authoritarianism or who have experienced its rise firsthand in other countries is that they've been genuinely shocked at how quickly the Trump administration is moving compared to other regimes. Earlier this year, The Guardian spoke to one political scientist who studied this at Harvard, who said Trump is throwing authoritarian punches at a much greater rate than any of these other cases in their first year in power. We don't yet know how many of those punches will land or how society will respond. Usually, these kinds of autocratic incursions move more slowly and deliberately. For instance, in Vladimir Putin's Russia, it took 2 years before he was able to successfully bully a late-night comedy show that mocked him, called Puppets, off the air. Donald Trump got Jimmy Kimmel pulled in just 8 months, although, of course, Kimmel came right back. And I think there's a reason for that. They are simply going too fast. I really think the speed at which they are trying to rip apart a free and open society is a huge tactical mistake on their part. For some reason, it reminds me of these videos that I keep seeing in my social media feeds. Have you seen these ones? Don't ask me why, but I'm obsessed with them. They're like computer simulations of various cars driving very fast over like 100 speed bumps. And the takeaway is pretty simple. The really huge vehicles, like the pickup trucks and the minivans, they do better at top speeds. They can sort of drive over them fast. But the smaller cars, well, they usually can't handle it. They end up doing that, just like crashing and burning. If either of them just slow down a bit, they get through this just fine. But I kind of feel like the administration is trying to do this like speed run over all the obstacles, just trying to like plow over for it. But I am also not so sure they can handle it at the speed they're going. That they're doing so much so quickly. People really are taking notice. They're at 40% approval rating in the polls. And they don't like what they're seeing. It was shocking to people, I think, across the political spectrum, to see Jimmy Kimmel yanked off the air after a mafia-style threat from an administration official, or to see James Comey indicted. It's jarring to see mass secret police forces or military troops on American streets. It's not creeping authoritarianism subtly taking hold while no one is looking. They're just doing it in front of all of us. So the backlash has been real. And Disney bringing back Kimmel is an example of how that backlash has power too. It may just be the case that one advantage for the people who so deeply want to defend American democracy and freedom is the reckless speed the Trump administration is going, because they don't actually have the public behind them. What they're doing is genuinely scary, it's genuinely dangerous, but is also very unpopular.
Is like multiple Watergates at the same time. And I think that's how we need to look at this. And I also think we don't need to pretend that we're not sure of what Trump's motives are here.
I mean, pretty clear.
But there's been a little bit of a tendency for, I think, because in Trump 1.0, there were lots of people screaming, this is the end of democracy, this is an existential threat. Right. And so I think we're now overcautious. But here he is tweeting or truthing, whatever, go prosecute my enemies. Then he fires the guy who won't, puts this unqualified prosecutor in, and now we're finding out that they're going to move forward with malicious prosecution. So I think everybody needs to understand two things. This is multiple Watergates at the same time, and what Ken Delanian said is absolutely true, which is, look, we got to be, as they say in Hawaii, like the bamboo, bend but don't break. And right now, Donald Trump is trying to acquire and consolidate political power through illegal means. But that doesn't mean he's going to succeed. It also doesn't mean we should be casual about this. This is a 5-alarm fire for sure. It may be that they back off because of all the blowback, and then they will do what they did with the Kimmel thing and said, oh, come on, you Democrats were freaking out for no reason. My view is that it is time to be on high alert about everything. And this guy is literally doing all the things that he promised.
Yes.
Except for bringing prices down. But all of
a notable exception.
Yes, but all of the vengeance is actually happening. And the Kimmel thing was, to me, very important for the country. It really was the first time that I saw Republicans in good standing, MAGA people in good standing say, like, no, we're not for that. Ted Cruz is not just a conservative Republican senator. He's the chairman of the Commerce Committee.
Yes.
And courage is contagious in the political context and in the civic realm. And what he did actually took guts. And this will be the first and maybe last time I say good for Ted Cruz, but good for Ted Cruz And that is an example of the kind of pushback institutionally. Look, it's the corporate community, it's the nonprofit community, it's universities, it's individuals, it's politicians on the left and the right. But all of us have to say, look, we're going to fight about the rest of this stuff, but malicious prosecution is off limits. Undermining the First Amendment is off limits. Like, there are some American principles that go beyond our sort of partisan warfare.
Cynical people may say that your streaming service doesn't matter, or that this little individual choice won't make a difference. It does, because one of the largest corporations on earth, which is the Disney Corporation, and ABC, was going to comply in advance. They did for a moment by pulling Jimmy Kimmel off the air. And because of you and everyday people not choosing to listen to the cynics that say canceling your subscription isn't going to do anything, people started acting with their hearts, and they started acting in alignment with themselves. And those boycotts changed the course. I can't even imagine the consequences of the Disney Corporation bringing themselves to heel for the Trump administration around their threats to the FCC. Those boycotts alone likely prevented a mass consolidation of political influence at the FCC around broadcast licenses. So I want to encourage each and every one of you, when a cynic says protesting doesn't matter, or boycotting or canceling a subscription, or making different choices doesn't matter, do not listen to them. Don't listen to the cynics. This is a time where if even the most small thing you can do is speak up at work for someone that isn't being protected, that matters, because all of these institutional erasures trickle down, and all it takes is one person sticking up for somebody else, making a different choice, preparing their community, welcoming our neighbor, that can truly, genuinely, authentically change the course of this country.
We've got some major updates in the indictment of James Comey. Let's break it all down. Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted by a grand jury in the Eastern District of Virginia just days after Donald Trump demanded the DOJ prosecute him. Here's how it happened. Trump demanded prosecutors charge Comey. The U.S. Attorney for the district, Eric Siebert, refused to bring the case, saying there was no case to bring. Trump fired him. Then Trump installed his personal attorney, Lindsay Halligan, to run the office. Career prosecutors even sent Halligan a memo saying that there was no probable cause to charge Comey. She ignored it and pushed forward anyway. The grand jury indicted Comey on 2 of 3 counts, making a false statement and obstruction. They declined to indict on 1 count. Trump immediately celebrated on Truth Social, posting in all caps, "Justice in America. One of the worst human beings this country has ever been exposed to is James Comey, the former corrupt head of the FBI." The case has been assigned to Judge Michael Nachmanoff, a Biden appointee. That's very bad news for Trump. People inside the DOJ are telling reporter Ken Delanian that they believe this is one of the worst abuses in DOJ history. At least one assistant federal prosecutor has already resigned in the Eastern District of Virginia as of this recording. And now I want to be crystal clear about 2 things. 1, I'm no fan of James Comey, but this case is total nonsense. He did not lie to Congress. The whole case is total BS. 2, more importantly, the real story isn't that Comey was indicted. The real story is the historic scandal we are witnessing, a sitting president pressuring his DOJ to indict his political enemies. This is one of the biggest scandals in American history, and everyone involved will have to live with their role in this forever. Buckle up, because this is just the beginning. Will we see more resignations at DOJ? Will we see more indictments against Trump's political enemies? I think so.
I am so appalled at those that took an oath, at those that actually went to law school. Many of us ended up with law school debt. And then we have to take not only the bar exam, but we have an ethics exam that we have to take, because there is supposed to be some level of ethics in what we do when we go into a courtroom. Now you have people that literally either they just don't know the law or they just don't care. But the idea that you would go after someone, and listen, even as Democrats, we had our fair share of issues with James Comey, okay? but that's not a reason to prosecute someone. And so here's the deal. If he decides that he wants to continue down this path, I think that they're going to continue to lose. And I don't see the former FBI director saying that he is going to just go ahead and say enter into a plea deal, or he's just going to take this line down. I think that this is someone who absolutely will fight this to the end.
It is a really dark, sad, scary day for America, and that post that you just showed is truly petrifying. The President of the United States ordered criminal charges against an individual who happens to be a political adversary and a critic of him. And let's be clear about what's happening here. The president is singling out someone he just doesn't like.
What Donald Trump wants to do is sow fear throughout the country. He wants people to shut up. He wants people to go away. And we all need to stand up individually and collectively against this bullying. Look, this is a political prosecution, pure and simple. It's Exhibit A of the corruption of this Department of Justice and our justice system. And it comes in line with all the other lawless things President Trump is doing, cracking down on First Amendment rights, stripping people of their due process. I will just say that anybody who thinks we're on the way to authoritarianism is wrong. We are there. And these are all examples of it. And like James Comey said, we need to stand up.
Did Pam Bondi go to law school? You follow the facts before you indict someone for a crime. You do not indict them and say, well, now we got to go look for some facts. Her statement shows this thing is a complete political hatchet job. And I think it's going to blow up in the Trump administration's face, because having practiced law in the Eastern District of Virginia for 17 years, I don't see any of the judges in this district dignifying this political persecution in any way.
Can't stress this enough. Trump's trying to rig the midterms through extreme gerrymandering. If you've been watching Courier's coverage, you know Trump's not even trying to hide that the reason he's asking red states to redraw their congressional maps off-cycle is to change.
Maps that you passed give white Texans 3 times the political power as Latinos, regardless of party, and 5 times to African Americans. Maps that were before this body, which was the cause of the quorum break, were the most segregated maps that this state, that this institution, that this House has seen since the 1965 Voting Rights Act.
Where's our place of duty?
And I'll tell you, it was my duty, sir, to stand up against that injustice. The injustice that you and your party are inflicting on the people of Texas, that you refuse to acknowledge that there are Latinos, there are blacks in this state that deserve equal representation, but you, sir, feel entitled to have 3 times the representation as Latinos in this state. You feel entitled to have 5 times the representation as black residents in this state.
The members will refrain from engaging in personalities. Are you saying that blacks, Hispanics, and Asians are all Democrat? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Sir, this isn't about party.
No, I'm asking.
It's not
that's
about
what you
Republicans
said.
or Democrats. I told you as in my remarks, the maps that you passed give white Texans 3 times the political power as Latinos, regardless of party, and 5 times to African Americans in this state. That is what you and your party stand up for and passed in this House.
Why you support a president who contributes to the rhetoric that got your friend Charlie killed. We saw his rally recently. He said, "I hate my enemies." Stephen Miller said similar things. How can you support him when he contributed to what got Charlie killed?
Assumes facts, not evidence. What you said is not true.
70% of political violence is committed by Republicans.
Okay.
Look it up.
That's not
DOJ just pulled it. The DOJ just pulled it from their website. DOJ just pulled the study from their website because they're delusional.
That's not true, because
they just pulled it. Look it up.
Once you
pulled it from their website.
Once you pull the crazies out of there, it is overwhelmingly left-wing violence.
Google it.
We have had
every single person in the audience. Google it right now.
This is how we get here. First of all, let me take on the first part of it, the premise of your question, that it was President Trump's rhetoric that led to an assassin killing our friend Charlie Kirk. That's a blatant lie. It's a defamatory blaspheme, and it's inappropriate in this setting.
That's not what I said.
We know. Yes, it is.
No, I said he contributed to the political atmosphere.
Well, then you have no point. Then your point is utterly empty. contributing to the atmosphere.
This
guy was, no, let's just make clear. This guy was motivated by leftist ideology. We know it from the bullet casings. We know it from the Utah governor. We know it from his own mother. Yes, we do. Let's be really clear on that.
Even if that's true, so then you're saying, because, let's say this guy's a leftist, even if that's true, does that make it okay for the sitting president of the United States to incite violence against liberals?
The President of the United States has not accepted violence against liberals. The President of the United States made a joke at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, which was funny and self-deprecating. It was on the heels of Erica Kirk saying she, in an extraordinary moment, forgave her husband's killer. And let me finish. And then President Trump got up and making a joke, playing off of what Erica said. He said, we disagree. I need to do better. Erica's going to try to convince me, but I'm in a different place. And that's completely normal for a politician to be thinking about his political fights. And by the way, Trump has every right to loathe his enemies. They tried to put him in jail for the rest of his life. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to put his family in jail. And they tried to kill him. Okay, now you go.
Thank you for your time.
Well, I think her history is far from being over. I'd like to answer that question in another 15 years from now. I think she's going to go down at a minimum as a great senator. I think she is a great wife to a president. And I think Bill Clinton was a great president. You know, you look at the country then. The economy was doing great. Look at what happened during the Clinton years. I mean, we had no war. The economy was doing great. Everybody was happy. A lot of people hated him because they were jealous as hell. You know, people get jealous and they hate you. People don't like him because they're jealous of him. But Bill Clinton was a great president. I mean, I hope we can be so lucky in terms of the economy and in terms of other aspects. Bill Clinton was a great president. Hillary Clinton is a great woman and a good woman.
You said of Hillary Clinton that she was, quote, pretty badly abused during her presidential campaign.
Why did you say that? I thought that they roughed her up pretty good. I think she's a wonderful woman. I think that she's a little bit misunderstood. You know, Hillary's a very smart woman, very tough woman. That's fine. But she's also a very nice person. And I know Hillary, and I know her husband very well. They're fine people.
I thought the idea was to make America great. This is not great. Try to act like a president for once. And in case you don't know what that looks like, maybe this will help, because it looks like this.
We are, one and all, immigrants, or the sons and daughters.
We are the descendants of 40 million people who left other countries to make a new opportunity for themselves and their children.
The lamp of this grand old lady is brighter today, and the golden door that she guards gleams more brilliantly in the light of an increased liberty for the people from all countries.
I'm convinced that the vast majority of Americans today want these people to have another opportunity.
I was in the party that welcomed generations of immigrants.
If we ever closed the door to new Americans, our leadership in the world would soon be lost.
Immigration is not just a link to America's past. It's also a bridge to America's future.
This is one country. We like our diversity. We are proud of it.
Amid all the complications of policy, may we never forget that immigration is a blessing and a strength.
These people, our neighbors, our classmates, our friends, they did not come here in search of a free ride or an easy life. They came to work.
We don't demonize immigrants. We don't single them out for attacks. We don't believe they're poisoning the blood of the country. We're a nation of immigrants, and that's why we're so damn strong.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
It's time for the trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Oh yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Let's see, can we hear it? Is the mic on? I got to test it out. You know what I do. You know how I do. All right, sounds like it's on. Good morning, everybody. It's 11:34 a.m. Pacific time zone here in the beautiful Las Vegas. It's 80 degrees, and we have an expected high of 86, so temperatures are getting a little nicer for us, not quite so hot. Thanks, everybody, for being here. The chat's moving along. I'm not able to stop it, so I know I saw earlier, I think Mark Krasner was first, and I think maybe Michael McAndrews, and then maybe Damon Dog. And after that, it's all disappeared. I do know that Jolie and Aaron are here, so we are at full mod capacity, and I want to thank you for that. We have 229 people watching. At the start, or around the start of the intro, I think we had over 330. So apparently over 100 people did not like the intro. I don't know. They're like, I'm out of here. So anyhow, thank you guys for being here. Now, for anyone new here, you do know that we do like to operate as good Democrats. And right now I'm seeing 222 watching and only 81 thumbs up. So right now we are a horrible, horrible deficit of thumbs ups. And that's us acting like Republicans. Let's not act like Republicans. Let's get to at least a balanced budget. Hit that thumbs up button, and so we can be more like good Democrats. At least try to be. I almost drank my whole coffee during that intro. Anyhow, I see Wes Webb is here. I'm picking up in the chat. General Putnam 2 is here. It's moving pretty fast, guys. John Doe is here. It says, wow. It was comedy that gave Trump the 2016 election by investigating Hillary Clinton, and now he's indicted. Susie Jones is here. Michael McAndrews. Kinky Streets. Kinky Streets is here. Kinky Streets has been resurrected. From the ashes comes Kinky Streets. VD Hertz told me that you might come around. I don't know. Well, but thanks for being here at Kinky Streets. Good to see you. Paul Burrows is here from up there in the, I believe, the Idaho Panhandle. Zim, we got Zim in the chat. P-Dubs, hey, P-Dubs, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Karen Ames is here. I want to say thanks to House Sparks for the raid and all you sparklers that came on over. Thank you so much. Barefoot Bear's here. Wes Webb says just trying to get the party started. See, I missed a lot of the chat. I'm sure Wes Webb said something to get us going here, get us riled up. Stephen Sayers is here. Comey first. Roxanne79, thank you so much for being here. John Doe says, vote yes on Proposition 50. Absolutely. Let's get those. Let's counter whatever Texas is doing. And the thing about it, they're only going to flip 5. I think they should. They could have flipped 8 or 9. I think they should flip all 8 or 9 just to play it safe. But anyhow, Karen Ames says everyone normal can see all of Trump's corruption, grift, grievance, authoritarianism. So why can't anyone else see it? I don't mean MAGA because they won't, but those. And then it disappeared. Well, slowly but surely, I guess. Like I always say, The masses are asses, and I don't mean to be like I'm so great, but really, what that means is it's the masses are just such a mass of people. It just takes a long time for certain stuff to filter through. Because I'm telling you, the overwhelming majority of Americans, I really believe the overwhelming majority, they're not like us. The people in this chat room, the people that watch Hal Sparks or any Texas Paul or Boston Brian or any of these type of shows, I really think the overwhelming majority does not listen to anything. They don't even listen to the right-wing stuff. They get little headlines, little blurbs here and there, and they kind of base their whole voting decisions on captions or a meme. And so maybe the lesson is we got to step up our meme game or something. I don't know. I mean, it worked for Minus Touch. Look at them. They're knocking on the door of 6 million subscribers. Speaking of subscribers, we got a few today, so now we're over 4,080. I want to thank all the new subscribers who subscribed today. We picked up a few more of you. So thank you for subscribing. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can come on. We are, for the newcomers, I'm on basically Monday through Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And basically what we do is we play those intro clips, and then the boring part starts where I just read the chat back to you. Some people don't like it. I don't know. Some people complain about it, but it is what it is. Kiki Street says Tyler Robinson is Nick Fuente's MAGA. It's never mentioned. Yeah, it is getting sort of a short shrift on that. Victor Harshman says I'm feeling better knowing. Oh, see, guys, and I don't have a mechanism to slow the chat down. John Doe says, how can you know it was a joke? I think that's in reference to the Megyn Kelly part of that, I think, of the intro. Zim says, oh, it was a joke, completely normal. Yeah, it's just a joke. Trump will say the most vile, disgusting shit and then try to just pass it off as a joke. Mimi Wallman's here. Hey, Mimi, that's a new name to me. So thank you for being here. Welcome to the chat. Mimi says, not a joke. 45 deserved jail. 45 should be in prison right now as we speak. 45 and 47 should not be in the White House. If this was really, if things really went the way they were supposed to go, Hillary Clinton would have won, and we would have had 2 terms of Hillary, and then who knows? But I don't even know if Kamala would have won or would have ran. But everything would be different, and I really do think I really think everything would be better. You know what I mean? How could it not be? How could it not be better if we didn't have Trump at all ever as president? But we can't go back in time. We can't change it. All we can do is learn from it and hope to do better going forward. Apparently, we didn't in last November. We didn't learn. We didn't go forward. But we got to keep trudging. We got to keep trudging along. We can't give up. Not gonna give up. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Let's see here. Chat is moving along here. Susie Jones says, like a dragon, I think we are on a different streaming or same show. I'm mid-thread. I'm a little mid-thread on that. I guess Luck Dragon is here. I didn't see. It was skipping along so fast. So hello to Luck Dragon. Paul Burrows says, we are unwilling to be led by the unknowing. Oh, see, I couldn't get to it. Gin up the bass is here. Am I first? You're first in my heart. Gin, you will always be first in my heart, regardless of where you are in the chat. There's the Lucky Minute. Hello, Lucky Minute. Good to see you. Chris Doug's here. Hey, Chris Doug. Good to see Chris Doug in the old driver's lounge. I see you guys trying to get us to a balanced budget. We're still woefully at a deficit, by the way. Don't make me call you guys a bunch of Republicans, please. Let's see where we're at. Karen Ames is there. Stephen Sayers. We're still in a lot of the hello stages of the chat here. Kiki Treat says Trump was demonizing the Japanese during the 1980s. Yeah, he was always an asshole. Even though there are these clips where he says nice things about the Clintons or whatever, Trump was still an asshole. Search for You says great intro. Thank you, Search for You, and thanks for being here, by the way. Nick Rich is here. Hey, Nick, good to see you. TNS is here. Welcome to the Driver's Lounge, TNS. Not sure if I've seen you before, but so I just want to say hello. Suzanne Forey-Seppi is here. Hey, Suzanne, good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the old Driver's Lounge. Alton Gillespie is here. Sandy Foltz is here. Hello, Sandy. I see you waving at me. And Victor Harshman says, any new news on the military flights? Well, and then, I'm sorry, guys, the chat disappears and I can't read it. But I haven't heard, was that were you talking about the airspace violation? Or were we talking about, I think that might have been what you're talking about. And I haven't heard any updates on that, actually. Lug Dragon has been out sick. Did you call in? That's funny, and that's a different in generations. We used to say call in because you would pick up the phone and you would call into work to call in sick. And as I'm saying it, I'm going, maybe the newer generation is right. Maybe it should be call out because they say call out because they're calling work to be out of work. Anyhow, I don't need to go down that road. John Doe's here, says 5x5. Not sure what that means. I am mid-thread, probably. Mimi Wallman, Chicago says hello. Hello, Mimi. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming in from Chicago. Chicago. Is that how you say it? Chicago? Nick Rich, audio is good, so this must be right where I was coming in. Luck Dragon, it's only 11:32 in California. It's 11:44 now, so I'm about 12 minutes behind in the chat. Fancy's here. Hey, Fancy. Always good to see Fancy. Thanks for joining us today in the Driver's Lounge. Wes Webb says, I keep seeing dragons and vampires all over the place. I just figure they are you. Oh, mid-thread. I'm very mid-thread. Bethany, we can hear you. Hello, Bethany, by the way. Bethany S. Arball. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. P-Dubs is here. Hello, P-Dubs. Always good to see P-Dubs in the chat room, the Driver's Lounge, as we like to call it. Ada Benitez is here. Hey, Ada. Good to see you. It says, ugh, I cannot tolerate a 70 degrees. You don't like anything above 70 or below 70? Because that could go either way. Susan says, wow, a Howard Sparks channel read. Yeah, that was so great. Thanks, Hal. I don't know, Hal's probably not listening or watching, but thank you anyhow, Hal. Thank you anyway, Hal, for sending your folks my way. I do appreciate it. Michael McAndrews loved the intro. Thank you, Michael. I'm glad you liked it. It's a little different. There wasn't really like news clips of things. There was just a lot of people talking, but it is talking about stuff that's going on right now, current stuff, the James Comey stuff, of course, Trump's continuation of his march to authoritarianism. One guy in there said it's not coming, it's here now. So I mean, there are plenty of people trying to warn people and get people out there and active, and I hope we do. I hope we've got the No Kings Parade coming up on October 18th. We've got the Trucker John mass general strike coming up, right? We've got the massive general strike sponsored by Trucker John on January 1st, where no one does nothing for as long as it takes. We don't go to work. We don't go to school. We don't go shopping. We don't go to the gas stations. We don't take a train. We don't take an airplane. We don't take a bus. The bus drivers stay home. The plane drivers stay home. That's the Trucker John one, January 1st. West Webb, we can't call them wrenches. John gets mad. Oh no, it's not wrenches. There's an other W word that I thought you shouldn't use. Falcor's here. Hey, Falcor, or at least was. I am a little behind in the chat, so some of these folks might be gone already. We did lose a lot. A lot of people are bailing. They're like, this dude is lame. This Trucker John's lame. I'm out of here. But thanks for being here. I do appreciate the folks for hanging around that are hanging around. Yeah, there's Mimi Wallman's Sparklers represent. Yeah, you are representing. I do appreciate you for being here. Sandy Folt says that she was second in the chat. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Luck Dragon says that's the best song in the world, Earth, Wind, and Trucker. I'm surprised you didn't put a question mark at the end of that. But anyhow. It's funny, the chat was moving so fast I could barely keep up, and now it just stopped. It's at a complete standstill. Anyhow, West Webb, can angels really kiss us? Why not? We can believe in, if you can believe in all the other magical stuff, why not believe that? You know? If you can believe in this magical heaven with this magical man in a white robe and a big long beard floating around in a cloud who knows everything and sees everything and is all powerful, then I don't see why it would be such a stretch to believe that an angel could kiss you. King Streak says the VD Hertz account has been deleted. We're done with VD Hertz. Kiki Streets is back. All right. Karen Ames says it's 5 for 5 on the Prop 50. We're going against Texas. Yeah, 5 for 5. I know. And I guess I'm just a little greedy because I think they could have gotten as many as 8 or 9 that they could have flipped. That Gavin could have pushed for, but he's just doing the 5 because the 5 in Texas. But I'm like, why not? Why, if you want to borrow $100 from your old man, or if you want to borrow $50 from your old man, you ask for 100, right? P Dubs agrees. DPD 5844 is here. Says now the Nazi fascist white nationalist regime pedophile has chosen to invade Portland. Distraction from the Epstein Maxwell things here. Jim of the Base says calling new sparklers. Please subscribe. Thank you, Jim of the Base. Speaking of that, I do have some stuff here's been floating around. Look at this. Have you guys seen this? I won't leave it on too long. It might be kind of gross. Too gross. I hope this is a real. I think it's a real photo. I don't think it's AI or anything. But there's Donald Trump and his good buddy Jeffrey Epstein, and they've got looks like teenage girls sitting on their laps. I've got another picture of Trump kissing one of the girls. These popped up today on my feed. So yeah, just know that Trump is in the files. He's dirty as hell, dirty as fuck, and he's going to be implicated for all kinds of child rape. He's a pedophile, and yeah, this going to Portland and sending troops to Portland, all the shit he's doing, it's all distraction. It's all about distraction. Let's see. Yeah, I can't go back. I'm not going back. Damon Dog says, did John just say we're boring chatters? No, I was saying that I'm boring. You know, people are leaving because I'm the boring one. Not you guys. You guys aren't boring. You guys are awesome. Suzanne says we need to get along with each other and stick together, especially now. Now more than ever. Absolutely.
Jolie's reminding us that Trucker John is live every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you, Jolie, for that little reminder there. Paul Burrow says, come on, people, now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Right now. I have to do everything fast because the chat is moving fast, and it just disappears. Once it scrolls to the top. AM says, I truly believe that the majority of Americans are not falling for the madness that is Trump. We can thank corporate media for that. We are the majority of educated consumers. I think more and more and more and more we are seeing less and less and less and less people falling for it. I mean, you can see Trump's popularity numbers just sinking and sinking and sinking. I think we are seeing more people, finally catching on to it. But like I said, even though, look, when I said the masses are asses, I mean, there are so many people that just really don't know anything. They still just know Trump from The fucking Apprentice, and they know that he was president, and that's about it. There's a lot of people like that. You guys don't believe me, but hey, man, I did rideshare for 2 years, and now I've been doing cab driving, and I come in contact with the fucking people, and a lot of them they're clueless. They're completely clueless, and they are voters. Some of them aren't, but a lot of them are voters. A lot of our people that vote are completely fucking clueless. Arizona Sunflowers here. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping into the old chat room. So I guess it's our job. It's my job to some extent, but even all of you guys, as we go to our jobs and our churches or wherever we go to our knitting circles, in whatever way we can to help get out I say Christina, the Suncoast Squad, thanks for being here, but to try to get out whatever message we can, whatever information we can to expose Trump for not only the idiot and buffoon that he is, but really what an illegitimate president he is. He really should never have been president, and how he should be in prison. Let's let people know this man's a felon, convicted felon. A lot of people don't even know that. They don't even know it. Steven Sayers with a $9.99 super sticker. Thank you, Steven Sayers. I'm just now getting to it. Yippee to Steven Sayers. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. The $9.99. Thanks for helping out the show and helping to support the show. I do appreciate that very, very much. Honeybee47's here, says we should be at brunch right now with Harris as president. Absolutely. Just think if Harris was president. Yeah, I know, and I hate to go down this road because it just makes my brain hurt. To go down that rabbit hole of what could have been and what should have been. So, but I hear you. We wouldn't be going through all this shit, man. And a lot of people are finding out, but like I've said, the people that fucked around by voting for Trump and who are now finding out, they're bringing us with them. We're finding out too, and that's the sucky part of it, Craig's here. Craig M. Hello, Craig M. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping on in into the driver's lounge. Now, guys, I am 10 or 15 minutes behind, so if I just now addressed you, or you might be going, why? I said that 15 minutes ago. Or you might not even be here. You might have left already. So it's just the nature of reading chats and how it takes time. Kiki Street says, anyone in chat ever get a knee replaced? I did on Tuesday. Oh, well, I hope that's going well. I bet you we have had, I bet you there are some people with some knee replacements. I know that Sandy says he should be last in your heart. That's funny. Talking about Jen. I know we've got probably about a half a dozen people in here that either have had hip replacements or are scheduled to get a hip replacement. So there's probably a couple knee replacements in here too. We're all of that age. I according to my analytics, I think it's well over 50% of the folks that hang out here are like 55 and over. So we're all at that age, getting new hips and new knees and what else and all kinds of stuff. Damon Dog, the big dog, 49 super chat. Thank you, Damon Dog. Yippee! Going out to Damon Dog. Thank you so much. I'll give you that thumbs up and that heart. Thanks, Damon Dog. I appreciate that. And Jolie sent out 10 gift memberships. Thank you, Jolie. Yippee! Going out to Jolie. I really love that because that does help the show. They're disappearing. I see Tiffany C got one, and David McPeak, Elizabeth Stone, Ward Watson, Gordon Ritchie, Jorgen Johansson, one of my favorite names. Jorgen Johansson got one, and Karen Cooney, and Cool Breeze coming on in like a cool breeze. So I hope those folks will get their memberships and will come on in and hang out with us for a bit, for a time. From time to time. That'd be great. So thank you, Jolie. That's great. Appreciate you doing that. And remember, folks, anyone can be a member, starting for as low as $1.99 a month. They're not that expensive. They're pretty cheap, and believe me, it does help the show. If everyone did it, it would really help to support the show. And then someday I might even get a nice computer and do all kinds of other stuff. Like have a guest. I might even have a guest come on if I was running this on a computer instead of my phone. So I appreciate the memberships and the subs and the super chats and all. It's all going to a good cause, I think. I guess that is a little self-serving of me, or maybe that's not a good cause. Did I say Carolyn Phelps got one? There's Carolyn Phelps also. I'm just cracking up over something that was in the chat. Anyhow, Kiki Street says Michael Andrews, so far so good, just dealing with the inflammation mostly, able to walk slowly. Yeah, eventually that inflammation should go away, and before you know it, you'll be running marathons. No, I don't know. I don't want to go that far. Paul Burrow says, if Kinky Streets, if you're experiencing joint pain, you're probably holding the lit end. That's pretty funny. Suzanne Forsepi says, Jorgen, good afternoon to you too, dear friend. Is Jorgen here? Is Jorgen actually here? I didn't see you. So if you're here, Jorgen, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. Chris Duck, 402 days until the midterms. Oh, what do we call those around here? Congressional elections. Those are congressional elections. Let's see. Oh, DPD 5844 says, they blocked me on X because of my statements directed towards Laura Jigsaw Loomer. I consider it a badge of honor. I asked the question, how long does it take you to consume a Vienna sausage and Trump? Or which one is, which one is bigger? Sandy Foltz, it's call off, not call out. You don't call off. I've never heard that one. If you're sick, if you have a job, okay, and you're sick, so you don't want to go to work. My whole life it was always call in, because I'm going to call in to work. No one ever said call off. Now the newer generations, they say call out. I believe they say they're going to call out because I guess they mean it to mean like they're calling to say they're going to be out that day. I've never heard call off before. Maybe in Buffalo, or maybe in upstate New York they say that. I don't know. John Dosier says, Zelensky want a weapon system from Trump, but he doesn't want to say what it is. I wonder what Zelensky wants. Nukes? What does he want his nukes back? They used to have nukes, and they gave them all up with the promise that we would protect them. Was from Morocco or something. Tara Buster. Hey, Tara Buster. Tara Devlin's here. Hey, Tara. Thanks for being here. Or you might still be here. I don't know, because I am behind in the chat. But thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. And I loves me some Tara Buster. Tara Buster comes on every Friday night. I forget the exact time because she's Eastern time zone. But Tara Buster, guys, check her out. She's right there on YouTube. Just put Tara Buster in the little search thingy. And she's also got Tuesdays and Thursdays with the Tara Show, where there's two gals named Tara. One's Dublin, one's Devlin, and they have great guests. They've had some, talk about guests. And Tara on the Tara Buster Show, Tara has great guests too. I mean, it's a great show. The Tara Devlin Tara Buster Show. You guys need to show it some love because that's a great show. She does a really good one. Wes Webb with a $7.77 super chat. Yippee! I'm not sure if I should read it. This is once an asshole, always an asshole. It disappeared on me. Oh, I wasn't able to give it my heart and my thumbs up, Wes. Sorry about that. But I'll give you an extra yippee for old Wes Webb. Thank you, Wes. You know what? If I click on that. Oh, there. Okay, so now I can do it. So should I read it? Because it's a derogatory. It's Wes Webb style. Once an asshole, always an asshole. Johnny knows. He's the biggest and best. Not saying that I know for certain. Susie knows what I'm saying. I have no idea what you're saying, but thank you so much for the 777, which I believe is the number of God or something. It's something God, something to do with God. Thank you, Wes. I appreciate that. I think I appreciate that. I do appreciate the support. I do. Okay, so Kiki Street says same crew worked on. Okay, I'm mid-thread. Well, okay, worked on Michaela Shiven about your knee. The winningest skier in USA history worked on my knee. Doubt I could have had better care. So that's great. Yeah, it sounds like you had some really great surgeons in there. So you might be on the slopes before you know it. Who knows? Christina and Son Ghost Squad. I almost said God Squad. Ghost Squad says, I don't have any money, so I can't do anything or go anywhere. Anyway, well, I do go to the doctor. Well, make the best of it and hang out in the old driver's lounge. Falcor's here. Hey, Falcor. Arizona says, huh? Just shut down the whole country? Yes. 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 Let me put this one back up. Yes. We're going to shut this shit down. My theory is we would get whatever we wanted, and it wouldn't take more than 3 days. So people don't have to worry about, I got to stock up on food, or it's going to cause an apocalypse. One person said it would cause an apocalypse. To which I responded, I would rather have the apocalypse happen than to live under a dictatorship. So, but if we shut this whole shit show down, I believe we would get whatever we wanted within 3 days. In theory. All right, so I thought I had. Is that not staying up? Maybe I should just take that one down. Put that one up. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. January 1st is the Trucker John massive general strike. Trucker John is gonna let loose of a massive one on January 1st. Maybe Wallman agrees with you, which I think is me. All this yapping, it makes me a little thirsty. Arizona Sunflower says, women love having power, West Webb? How so? Yeah, I don't think any more so than men. Some of the most power-hungry bastards in world history have been men. And I don't think it's just coincidental that almost all of my political heroes currently and probably within recent memory are women. I mean, I think Hillary Clinton would have been a great president. I think Kamala Harris would have been a great president. I love Elizabeth Warren. I love AOC. I love Jasmine Crockett. There's a few more that I love, I'm sure. And I think it seems like the most kind of logical voices coming out of Washington and out of politics that I hear is almost always women. Not that there's not some great guys, Jamie Raskin or Gavin Newsom or, just those two guys. See? Can't even find the guys anymore. So I don't think it has anything to do with power. I think it has to do with wanting to do the right thing and help the country be the country it should be and not some authoritarian dictatorship. That's what I think. That's how I see it. Michael McAndrews, how many threesomes did Trumpy have with Epstein and little girl? Who knows? God, I don't even want to think about it. Yeah, I don't want to think about it. But yeah, while we are thinking about it, let's make sure that we release the goddamn Epstein files, for God's sakes, Don't let the distractions take us away from that. Does that need to be moved over a little bit? There we go. So just remember, January 1st is the Trucker John massive general strike. I am borrowing that wording from whoever made that meme. I'm just adding the Trucker John part. January 1st. We're all going to be hung over anyhow, you party animals. Might as well make a general strike out of it. Jolie says J.D. Vance came to Indiana to push gerrymandering. Oh, yeah, disappeared. Sorry, Jolie, it disappeared on me. Karen Ames says, you aren't boring, TJ. We'd love to chat with you. Thank you, Karen Ames. I appreciate you for saying that. James Jaramillo says, how the hell can Portland be invaded when it burned to the ground a while back? Yeah, did they rebuild it? This is who you think it is, TJ. You seem like you played some stickball in your day. No, I just played baseball. Sandy Foltz says people are leaving because you keep on saying bad things about Trump. Is that it? Is that it, Sandy? Well, if that's the case, then I guess I didn't want him here in the first place. AM says the madman on the hill wants us to start a civil war. He would love nothing more. So just remember, and I know Texas Paul says this, and a lot of reasonable, good people say this: do not take the bait, and do not make this a violent thing. We can protest peacefully. We can march peacefully. And you know what? When you do this great massive general strike, sponsored by Trucker John on January 1st, you don't even have to leave your fucking house. You don't have to leave your fucking house. West Webb, if this is too boring for you, you have permission to leave, my friend. Mimi Wallman says ICE is cruising Chicago River and release the Epstein files. There we go. Yeah, it should be all Epstein all the time. Ada Benitez says 38% approval is too high. Yeah, I think so too. Westwell, when is Trucker John not on? That's a good question. I'm on 24/7. Kiki Street says TJ has a good sized viewers now, 193, not shabby. And it keeps going down. I'm losing folks. We're at 165. We are good. I didn't want us to get to a balanced budget that way by people leaving, but hey, I guess whatever you got to do, right? Right? Am I right? Whatever you got to do. Kiki Street. Oh yeah, I read that. I just read that one. I just read it. DPD 5844 says any man who makes sexually lewd comments about their own daughters in a public setting, I imagine what they do in private, right? Yeah. Yeah. If you really think about it, because I think we have a tendency to kind of gloss over it. Even those of us who don't like Trump, or maybe I just speak for myself. I don't emphasize enough what a fucking pedophile this man is, Donald Trump, and that above anything else should have landed him in prison years ago. And you know, he has no business being in the White House, none whatsoever. P-Dub says, I totally believe that about the clueless masses. Oh yeah, it's just it's sad. But we can all do our little part, even if we just sort of can talk to one person and have a nice conversation, and you know that if each and every one of us did just that played a little part in helping educate someone or inform someone, and doing it, you know, carefully and peacefully. You don't want to start fights, you know, like actual fights or anything. At least I don't. Kiki Street says Trump is crap. mRNA vaccines are good. Yep. And Tylenol does not cause autism. The Lucky Minute says, I was in Home Depot yesterday and an employee hadn't heard of the tariffs when I asked about the price. I remember now this is back a while ago, I think when Trump first took office and he started talking about tariffs, I had a passenger who was a guy probably in his 40s, I'd say. He was there on a convention for I forget what it was, but he owned his own business and he was there at this convention about his business. This was a businessman, and he claimed to not know what tariffs were. So either he did and he just wanted to sort of test me to see if I knew what a tariff was, but he was very convincing. You know, give the man an Oscar, because he was very convincing that he didn't know what a tariff was. But like I said, maybe he was just testing me. I don't know. Arizona Sunflower, $19.99 gold. Thank you, Arizona, for that super sticker chat. There's a yippee going out to you. That might have been 2 yippies. $19.99. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Help out the show, support the show. If you can do that, that's great. But if you guys can't do that, then just the liking, subscribing, and sharing is just as good too. So help us grow the show. We are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. So if you can help in any way, that all helps. I do appreciate you. Bethany says, not me, have known Trump since the 80s, even dated a guy from New York, told me a lot about Trump. Karen Ames says, my best friend doesn't vote because she didn't want to be called to jury duty. Oh, I hate that excuse. Don't you just hate that? It's like, oh, boo-hoo, you got to do jury duty, you know? And plus, it's probably a misnomer anyhow. Mini Wallman farmers, the farmers are getting screwed over royally. They can't sell their crops because they were selling so much of their stuff to China. And of course, China is now saying "fuck you" because Donald Trump and the farmers and most of those probably voted for Trump. Now you're finding out you guys are all going to go broke and you're going to lose your farms. And I hope you blame Trump all the way down. Don't you dare blame Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or anything like that. Don't you dare do it. Sandy Folds, $2 super chat. Thank you, Sandy. Yippee out to Sandy Folds. There's a thumbs up and there's a heart. I do appreciate that. Hey, we're 3/5 of the way to the goal. That's pretty awesome. Lug Dragon, it's 11:57. So I'm about 21 minutes behind, I guess, in the chat. P-Dub says, I had my right knee replaced 20 years ago. So hopefully that all worked out good. Oh, shoot. What happened? I hate it when I'm going to scroll up and then it did something else. It like went sideways. You know? Anyhow, just want to pick up where I left off. Suzanne 47 says, does carpal tunnel syndrome count for surgery? Well, if you had surgery, then it counts as surgery. I mean, did you go into an operating room and they like cut into you and did some stuff that I think, you know, I don't know. Christina and Sun Ghost Squad says, laughing out loud. Yes, I'm finally in the chat where I'm the youngest one. Yeah, there's a lot of us 55 and older. That's my main demo. My main demographic. And I'm right in there. I'll be 65 a week from yesterday. Oh yeah, today's Saturday. Yeah, so I'm almost 65. So I'm in my own demographic. West Webb, just don't be brown without papers. There's even people that have papers that are still getting arrested. And take it in, and they don't give a fuck. They'll have a real ID. They'll have a fucking passport. They'll have whatever, you know, visa or whatever. I don't know, whatever paper they're supposed to have, and the fuckers still arrest them. Jen and Sandy, my God, you guys, don't make me stop this car. You two, you remind me of my daughter and son when they were little in the back seat fighting, and I'd have to be, don't make me stop this car. Nick Rich 12 noon. So I'm 20 minutes behind, Nick. 20 minutes behind you. Christina and Sun Ghost Squad, laughing out loud, Trucker John. I do all my live streams on my phone. I have guests, and I've been doing YouTube 8 years, and I still can't afford a computer. So, Christina, I've been seeing you in my feed lately for some reason. I guess because we have so much commonality in the stuff we watch. I've been seeing you pop up in my feed, actually, and I use the Prism app, and with the Prism app, I can't do guests. The only way I could figure out if I could do a guest is if I actually just go through YouTube live through the YouTube app, and then you could do like it's kind of like a collab. You can bring on one person could come in. I could do that. That's the only way I could do a guest that I know of, without using a computer where I go on like was it StreamYard or OBS or one of those type of deals. So if you have any tips or you can tell me, let me know how to do it. Because the only way I know of is if I just go live directly from YouTube, and then I have to send someone a link, or they have to send me their link or something, and then we can do it'll just do like a split screen. That's the only way I know of that I could do it with my limited knowledge of how things work. Chris Doug says, I'd like to replace my heart, liver, kidneys, lungs, bladder, colon, and at this point, brain. Just a complete overhaul. You're just in for a complete overhaul. Christina Well, congressional election, right. That's right. I like that. Let's call them congressional elections. If you want to put midterm, I guess you could say midterm congressional, but I think the important thing is get that word congressional in there so that people don't take these so lightly. Maybe we'll get a little more turnout. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a dreamer. But I'm not the only one. I don't know. So finally, we've had enough people leave the chat where we are operating like the Democrats and at a surplus. By the way, but so thanks for the thumbs ups and for watching. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me in here. I do appreciate it. Dog Riders, 97% most like. Let's see. Ghostbuster Slimer's here. Hey, Ghostbuster Slimer, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Tiki Street says oxycodone works, and diclofenac makes him nauseous. Susie Jones says my kitty is interrupting my views. Sorry, I missed a lot, and it continues. Chris Doug says midterms or congressional elections, just vote. Well, that's the thing. I think that people hear the term midterms, and so they don't. Just enough people. I know a lot of people still vote, but they are traditionally a lower turnout than the presidential elections. And I think our congressional elections should be just as important to everyone as the presidential election. I guess that's my point. Michael McAndrews, are head transplants next? Well, the thing about that, and Chris Doug did bring up needing a new brain. You know, our brains get old too, and we get dementia, we get senile, and we get forgetful and foggy, or whatever. And so, what good is transplanting your head? Let's say you transplant it onto a cloned body. I don't want to, or whatever. Now we're talking sci-fi fantasy here. So say you transplanted your head to a young, healthy 21-year-old or 28-year-old, or like for me, I know my personal physical prime was like 30, 31. I was my best I've ever been physically. So let's say I was able to get a body. Maybe you could clone your own body, because I don't want to kill somebody else and use their body or whatever. Or I guess we could do it like when people get in wrecks and they donate their organs. And I guess if someone dies, it doesn't have to be a wreck, but someone dies and the body's still good, healthy, good, young body. And so we could transplant our ugly old fucking 80-year-old head to this like 25-year-old body. That would be weird. Just that alone would be weird, I think. But I would do it because, again, this is fantasy. I guess even if I had an old, ugly 85-year-old head, I would still, and if I could attach it to a young, healthy, strong, 25-year-old body, I guess I would do it if it was, again, this is hypothetical. Okay, it's totally hypothetical. Don't, come at me with all the ethics and the morals. This is hypothetical. I guess I would do it, but then you have to have brain health, brain rejuvenation at some point. Because what if? Okay, so you got this young body and it's healthy, and that gives you another 50 years of health, of like physical health, but your brain is still getting older and older and older. So your 80-year-old brain. What's your 80-year-old brain going to be like when it's 130 years old? So with this magical thing we're talking about here, this fantasy, we would have to come up with brain rejuvenation or something, I think. You know, I would like to have maybe not a like I would like to have, let's say, I don't know, even maybe my 50-year-old brain would be fine. My 55-year-old brain would probably be fine. My 64-year-old brain's probably not too bad. It's getting a little forgetful, it seems like, with some names and words. So maybe dial it down a little bit. Maybe my 60-year-old brain would be just fine with my new 30-year-old body. Hey, it's fantasy, folks. We're into fantasy time. And there's Jolie. She's got the Terra Buster link right there for Terra Buster, and you can check it out. And I know Terra comes on at least on every Friday for her own show, and sometimes pops up other shows during the week, kind of impromptu, and also does the Terra and Terra show on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So check out Terra Buster, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share over there, and you'll be glad you did. If you like Boston Brian and Liberal Dan and Hal Sparks and Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman, Texas Paul, Trucker John, if you like those shows, then you're going to love the Terra Buster show. I fucking guarantee it. I fucking guarantee it. Suzanne Versepi needs to go eat some lunch. Yeah. Make sure you stay, get your everyone needs to get their calories in there. This Isn't Who You Think It Is, says the God Squad from Workaholics, was a great episode if you haven't seen it. David Dog shut it down. I think we're talking about the Trucker John massive general strike, January 1st. We're gonna drop a massive one on January 1st. This Isn't Who You Think It Is. Shut it down. General strike. Let's do this. Let's do it. P-Dub says general strike sounds good to me. Hey, I feel momentum. I feel some momentum is building here. Let's do this. January 1st. As long as it takes. If we had I was going to say 100 million people. If we had 30 million people, 40 million people do that, just think what we could do. The oligarchs would be shaking in their boots. They'd be shitting their pants, man. Christine Weibel, I'd rather live on my feet than die on my knees. Yep. Karen Ames says those that don't vote or pay attention would be the only ones working. Get the message out. January 1st, the Trucker John massive general strike. Nick Rich says the general strike needs to be a lot sooner than January 1st. Well, really? I think we need time to let this build up. We need time to get the word out. I think maybe that's one of the problems with people who try these general strikes, and it's like they'll put something out and it's like, tomorrow, let's do the general strike. It's like, what? Wait, what? I need a little more time to think about this and to build up my endurance or something. I don't know. Kelly X340 says, I'm late. I started over. Yay, sparklers. Hey, Kelly X340. Good to see you. Thanks for being in here. Thanks for coming on in and hanging out. I do appreciate you. Michael McAndrews, as someone said, hey, to me the other day, I did not recognize him at all. He had lost 150 pounds. Wow. I could stand to lose about a hundy. Not a Hyundai, but a hundy. I wouldn't mind losing about a hundy. P-Dub says, my problem is I usually only eat at night. Yeah, I know. I kind of do that too. I get that late night, munchies. And I'm not even a pot smoker, and I get the munchies. I'm not saying that you are or aren't, but I'm just saying, Christina and Sun Ghost Squad says it's not that we like power, us women, we just don't like being stepped on. Yeah, you're trying to take back the power that's been taken from you. Jill Branton says that evidently the new women problem is we are too successful and the incels want to have kids. Did you all see the study? I think I've heard them talk about that on Stephanie Miller or something. I didn't read the study though. This isn't who you think it is, says Trump is playing the role of tin pot dictator perfectly. He was made for the role, wasn't he? Christina and Son Ghost Squad says, I had a dream as soon as Clinton was elected president that Hillary was going to... Oh, see, it disappeared. I was trying to get it read before it disappeared, but I couldn't. And trying to read on my phone is just way too hard, especially with that stuff in the background there. Arizona Sunflower says, yes, I want to help the country too. We need the Epstein files. Who do you think has them? I think the FBI has them. I think Kash Patel has them. I think Pam Bondi has them. Susie Jones says at Karen Ames, I've been trying to be better, but the Gavin and Bill conversion was tough. I missed a lot of trolls, and it was because there's very strong opinions. I was kind of mid-thread on that one there. Luck Dragon says the Epstein files are on. It's disappearing. Doug G's here. Hey, Doug, good to see you. Christina Weibel says we also have more compassion and moral clarity for the most part. P-Dub says I had a man chat me up at the farmer's market last Thursday. He was wearing a Trump. Gosh, see, the chat starts moving and I can't read him on time. Jill Brent says men, Trump voters, pirate. No. I'm just going to have to go lower in the chat. Love Dragon says 4 out of 5 dentists believe the Epstein files should be released. Oh, there's the question mark. Mr. Spock. Hey, Mr. Spock's here. Live long and prosper. Old Mr. Spock there. Mr. Spock says, did you drive WW away yet? I don't think so. I think he's lurking in there. I think he's lurking. Luck Dragon says 4 or 5 dentists. Okay, we already said that one. Don't make me read it twice. I can barely read the ones. Sandy Folds, I had sent a $2 sticker. I did. I recognized you, Sandy. I gave you a yippee and everything. Maybe you stepped out of the room or something when I did that. But I went, yippee, Sandy Folds. I said thank you and everything. Let's see. Karen Name says normal men do not talk about their daughters that way and are usually very protective about anyone trying to harm their daughters. Yep. P-Dubs, I actually sat on the cat the other night. Poor kitty. Christina Weibel says Jen, ICE, and military are at the detention center in Portland. I saw it on a video today. Stephen Sayers says the Epstein files won't be released until the next Democratic president. And did you see that little Mikey Johnson is doing everything he can to delay the swearing in of the new representative from Arizona, but just to delay the vote. But you can only delay that for so long, little Mikey Johnson. How much longer do you think you can delay that? You cannot delay that forever, you stupid fuck. You little Weasley milquetoast, Trump sycophant. You can only delay it for so long. You know, the things they do is just it's a wonder they even could get elected. I guess it's just in large part stupid people electing stupid people. Luck Dragon says if America finds out that Bill Clinton was the first pedophile to have sex, it disappeared. Sorry, it disappeared. But I'll just say that if we find out that Bill Clinton was on the list and that it could be shown that he was having sex or raping girls, then I'm quite confident that we Democrats will tell Bill Clinton to fuck off and that he should be in a prison cell right next to old Trumpy and all the rest of them that are on that list that were raping girls and raping anyone, actually. I mean, we're not going to say, oh, if Bill Clinton's on there, don't release it. No one is saying that. The Soulcraft says Vegas has great UFO conventions with best of researchers hosted by George Knapp out of Las Vegas. He's a legit dude and solid reporter. Let me know when they have one. I would like to go to one of those. The Soulcraft. If you know of any UFO conventions coming up in Vegas, let me know. I would love to go. I'll cover it. I'll make a video of it or something if they allow it. West Webb says, so funny, Johnny, you tell all my fans to go away, and they do, and so now you mourn them. I didn't tell anyone to go away, did I? Luck Dragon says, I work at a skeleton crew that comes in at night and goes through all the inventory at Home Depot to change the prices because of tariffs. Oh, look at there. Christina Weibel says, Jen, I will be nursing a bowl soon. Too hot to bring a device outside. I'll be stepping out in the porch. I don't smoke in the house. Jill Breton says, how do you guys do the cool thing to highlight the name? Like, are you talking about like if the name is green? That means that you're a member. So if you want to add some green to the chat, just put down a little green. $1.99 a month get you a membership. $1.99 a month. I use a buck. I was going to say something crude. I'm not going to say it. I don't feel like being crude today. I was going to say something crude about what I would do to $1.99. It had something to do with bathroom. With what you might do in a bathroom. P-Dub says that the knee was working fine. Nick Rich, 20 past the hour. I'm still 20 minutes. I'm pretty consistently like 20 minutes behind. Danny Pomeroy's here. Hey, Danny, good to see you. Says, don't pay attention to political theater show. That's all designed for mags, feeding them clickbait. Out farmers got in trouble from fertilizer and seed costs. There's no profit in breaking even. Crazy. And they're going broke because China's not buying their crops for the most part. Joe Brett, nope, that doesn't work for me. Must be special. No Jill thing. So I'm mid-thread on that. I don't know what that was about. Wes Webb, I'm a farmer or was until a few years ago. Okay, your little row of watermelon and your pot. Oh, I guess your pot or whatever that you're growing in your closet with your little hydroponics. That I don't think that's not what I was talking about. Karen Ames says, I need to get my passport renewed. You just reminded me. All right. Michael McAndrew says, when do they start coming after our firstborn? I laugh, but I probably shouldn't. Huh is here. Hey, Huh, good to see you. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, so thanks for being here. Huh says, tell Trump to go back to Ireland. Why he been acting like the biggest drama queen? Because he's a drama queen. Bethany says, I'm 53-year-old, be 54 in March. You're getting close to the demographic. I think that the demo was 55 and above. I think it's like 57 or maybe 60% of the audience is 55 and above. Or I don't know if it was quite 60. It might have been 57 or 58%. I have demographics. I mean, I have analytics, so it's kind of cool to look at those every now and then, see who my audience is. Wes Webb says, I had a chirurgenic procedure done on my eye, not considered surgery. Yeah, it's a procedure. Christina Weil says they're trying to pass legislation to require everyone who votes to have a passport. Is that a certain state, like one state? Because I don't think they could make that like a national law. That would be like a state thing. Not that that's, good, but look, Dragon says stick your hand in a bowl of ice water with Tylenol. Oh, you were talking about maybe for the carpal tunnel thing? Maybe. Sometimes when I get mid-thread, I'm trying to, guess what you guys are talking about. Christina says, Ghost Squad says, StreamYards, you don't need OBS, and Zoom, you don't need OBS. I'm going to have to invite you to my show one day and show you. Do that. That would be awesome. I'm open to it. On my page, when you hit the more info thing, and my Gmail is on there. I think it's just truckersrun_livestream@gmail.com. Christina Webb says 21st century subject does Zooms with emails. But see, I don't know how to do the show and put a Zoom on it. I don't know how to go live on YouTube and attach Zoom to that. That's the thing. There would be a huge learning process here for me. I'm sure it would be completely different than the way I'm doing this. Danny Palmer says, great show. 100%. Well, thank you, Danny. I appreciate that. Thanks for the words of encouragement. I'm glad you're liking it. Anyone who's new here, I hope you guys come back. We do this, like I said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. If you guys want to continue to hang out. Suzanne Forsepi says, I enjoy the rest that doctors use it as I enjoy the rest that doctors use it is mellow. Again, I'm probably mid-thread on something that I missed. Let's see, where are we at here? Oh, I can actually kind of scroll down a little bit. Look, Dragon, I am not afraid of you. I think I'm mid-thread. I don't know. Let's be nice. Don't make me stop the car. You guys, you know who I'm talking about. You guys know who I'm talking about. Chris Doug, midterm simply means 2 election days after the presidential election. We need a supermajority in the House and Senate. It is the most important election of the last 20 years. I don't think you're understanding my point, Chris Doug. I know what midterms are. I don't know what simply means 2 election days after the presidential election. That makes no sense. It's 2 years after the presidential election. It's the midterm of the president's term. That's why they call it midterms. It's in the middle of the president's term that he just got. He or she. Someday, hopefully, she. I know what it means. I'm emphasizing the point that these are congressional elections for the large part. Now, states might attach some state elections in there on the same day. Propositions. Other local elections might attach, since everyone's going to the polls anyhow, they might attach some of their local issues on the ballot or whatever. But primarily, these are the congressional, at least at the federal level, these are all congressional. There's no president on there. So therefore, as far as the U.S. federal level is concerned, these are all congressional people on the ballot. U.S. House of Representatives and U.S. Senators. Hence, the emphasis on the word congressional. I don't know why that's not clear. Why that's not getting through. I don't know. That might be, and that might really illustrate why we have such a low turnout at these midterms, is because people can't even understand what someone else is trying to tell you to emphasize the word congressional, because we need to get congressional support. If you voted for Joe Biden or Barack Obama, or Bill Clinton, then for God's sakes, in the midterms, you need to make sure they have the Congress behind them that they need to get their policies through. And if you don't show up, because we do know that lower turnouts, usually Republicans win. Higher turnouts, more Democrats win. Did I not make any of that? Is that not clear? Is that not clear? Why we need to emphasize the word congressional? We know it's a midterm, duh, right? We know that a presidential term is 4 years, and that 2 years later we're going to have another election. We know that's the midterm. We already know that. We need to emphasize, but I think a lot of people just think, that big deal. It's not that important. I'm not going to worry about voting. They don't even, but maybe, and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe if we emphasize, instead of emphasizing the word midterm, we replace it with the word congressional, then maybe, just maybe, we might get a few extra thousand people, or a few 10,000, or another 100,000 people. I don't know. Maybe an extra few million people might actually show up to the goddamn things and actually give their president the fucking Congress they need. That's my point. I didn't know I had to spell this out like that. But I guess that's what I get for assuming. And you know what happens when you assume? You assume, May. You assume. You know when you assume, you assume. You assume. Assume. You assume. When you assume, you assume. Do you want to assume? Margaret Knobs is here. Hey, Margaret, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I don't think I've seen you here before. So welcome to the Driver's Lounge. It says, I'm getting older. I'm 60 and I have never felt so peaceful. Well, that's nice, right? That's good. I think that's good. Jolie had put the link for Terrorbuster in again. Thank you so much for that. Wes Webb, 68-year-old brain all fucked up. Yeah, so if you're doing the head transplant to a nice young body, would be nice if you could do something for the brain, right? That'd be nice too. If we're going to fantasize about these things, let's fantasize it all the way. You know, not that you need a new brain, because I want to have my memories. I want to have my personality. I don't want like a new brain. Then I might as well just die and stick another brain in there. So if we're going to fantasize about this stuff, okay, you're going to put my head on a nice fucking chiseled fucking 29-year-old body, and you're going to, I don't know, inject nanobots or whatever into my brain and get that all cleaned up so I can remember a fucking word, you know. You know, if we're going to fantasize, just fantasize big or go home. Is that what they say in the Texas Hold'em? Fantasize big or go home. I think that's what they say. Jill Brandt says they should pass a law that sea levels can't make more than some percent of workers. I'm not sure what that is about. Something about maybe income disparities, maybe. Maybe we should tamp that down. The greater the income disparities between the wealthy and the poorer, I guess, the shrinking of the middle class, that is not healthy for a good democratic society. Don O'Leary, it's just a fantasy. Yeah, absolutely. Susie Jones says, Michael McAndrews, I'm buying the jug of pickle juice today. I tried vinegar. It doesn't work for me. The same. Wes Webb says, oligarchs are so rich that nothing harms them. But here's what would harm them or would scare them. If we had 300 million people, now again, this is another, probably a fantasy, but it's well, it's not a fantasy, it's hypothetical. If we had 300 million people just not go to work, not go to school, not do anything, not gonna debt, the oligarchs would literally be shaking in their boots, shitting their pants. That's what scares them. If they see an uprising of the masses, and I don't mean in a totally, I mean totally peaceful, no violence. We don't see. That's the thing. When you have the numbers, when you can outnumber your group, theoretically could outnumber the oligarchs by 300 million to 1, basically, and we all come together as one voice. Doesn't matter how much fucking money they have at that point. That money means nothing at that point. Nothing. There's no amount of money that can stand up to 300 million people. Unless you're talking about the world, which has 8 billion people, then the 300 million is just but that's a whole different thing. I'm talking about in America. I'm talking about in America. It's all theoretical. So don't get your panties in a bunch, old WW. Steven Sayers says 230 pounds. I guess down to 175 now. Feel a lot better. No regurd anymore. I hate regurd. I don't even know what it is, but it doesn't sound good. But congratulations, man. That's like 60 pounds. Good on you. 175. I don't know how tall you are, but if you're of average height, 175 is probably perfect. That's probably perfect. So good job, Steve. I would love to get down to around 200 for me. That's a good weight for me. 200, 205. I guarantee if I got down to 200 or 205, you would probably think that I look emaciated or something. You would probably be worried about me. But I would be going, I'm looking good. Hey, ladies. Look at me. My svelte, emaciated body. Kristen Weibel says Epstein estate is giving more to oversight by subpoena. I hope it all comes out. I hope it does come out. Jill Bratton says 18 years ago I went from 170 to 135 pounds by having twins. I don't get it. So I don't want to talk about it. I'm nervous. That makes me nervous. Karen Ames says FBI, Russia, Britain, Israel, Saudi Arabia probably all have the Epstein files. You think so? Christina says Trumpstein is global. Yeah, there seems to be tentacles all around the globe on that Epstein thing. Michael McAndrews says Jill, so John needs to have twins? I think I am carrying twins, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. Who knocked me up, man? I mean, if um, Trump can get the devil pregnant, but don't worry, I'm not having sex with Donald Trump. So. Roxanne79 says, I heard half of the UN walked out when Bibi. I think it was more than half, actually. Roxanne, I just caught a little sort of that story too. I think it was almost all of them, and I think that's great. We need to shun and shame these motherfuckers, even though they are shameless. But do it anyhow. Falcor in the Closet Johnson, him and his son on a porn alarm app. I bet you the son has worked out a way to hack that. Jill Breton says breastfeeding is great for weight loss. I might give that a try. Christina Weibel, they want the government shut down because of Trumpstein pedos. They can delay this, but they can't delay it forever. At least I don't think so. Look, Dragon, I am the #1 dentist. Are you a dentist, Luck Dragon? Just got a little hair in my mouth there. I probably didn't even need to mention that. Karen Ames says, put your thumb on the chat. It will stop. I can stop it, but it will still move up. Like right now, I have it stopped. But if a lot of activity starts going on, because sometimes there were so many people in here, it'll just start moving on its own, and the stuff that disappears. See, like right now, it'll let me scroll a certain way. It's a weird thing. Sometimes I have it stopped right now, but there's times when it won't stop. Even if I try to stop it, I can stop it, but it won't stop sometimes. I have it stopped now. Jolie says if Bill Clinton is guilty, he should go to jail too. That's the difference between Dems and Republicans. We don't support pedos. Right? Exactly. Jill Breton says if only men carried babies like seahorses, what a better world this would be. And also, I know this is not what you were saying, but if men were the ones getting pregnant and giving birth, abortion pills and abortion techniques would be in every, like the abortion pills and stuff would be in every vending machine on every fucking corner in every store, everywhere you go. It would be legal if it was like, the same dynamic as far as like the power dynamic or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, it would be like their morning regimen would be taking some vitamins and some abortion pills, and totally legal, and it would be considered moral and ethically okay. Just saying about this huge kind of double standard and hypocrisy. That's what that was about. Sandy Foltz says Trump may have the files. Oh, I'm sure he knows he's on there. Wes Webb says Czechoslovakia. I got my ass kicked in Czechoslovakia. Oh, what was it? What's the line from Stripes? It's like, because Bill Murray's like, it's like going, because they're going, it's just Czechoslovakia. It's like going into, does he say Wisconsin or where does he say? I should know because I've seen Stripes a million times. And he's like, it's like going into Wisconsin or something. I think he says Wisconsin. And then Harold Ramis goes, I got my ass kicked in Wisconsin once or something. So anyhow, all you got to do is, bring up Czechoslovakia. And I'm on a whole other tangent here. But anyhow, so West thinks it's important to bring this up. Czechoslovakia, the state of Slovenes, Croats, Serbs were proclaimed, and Hungary broke monarchic ties to Austria by the end of October 1918. Why are we getting this history? Why are we getting this history lesson? Is there some? Can you just get to your point? Because we don't need to be bogged down with this history lesson from over 100 years ago. Although I understand about knowing the past, knowing history, so we don't repeat the bad shit. How can you learn the mistakes of the past if you don't know the past? Okay, I get it. Maybe I'm mid-thread. I might have been mid-thread on that. Mr. Spock says, Bill Clinton is saying that I did not have a relationship with that Epstein. Bill Clinton voice. No. That was more like Herman Cain. I don't have facts. No, I did not have sex with that Epstein file. Something like that. I feel your pain. I did not have sex with Epstein files. Jill Brent, I am a member. There you go. Hey, thank you. Yeah, you got the blue, the green. Did you just become a member or were you a member before? I forget now. But in any case, thanks for being a member. I do appreciate you. I do appreciate it. That really helps the show. It really, really does. Helps us support the show. West Webb, want to talk about the Ukraine? No, not with you, because I'm sure you're going to have some warped, sick shit that doesn't have anything that pertains to what's going on with the illegal invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Unprovoked, 100% unprovoked, has no right to go in and start bombing fucking maternity wards and nursery schools and civilian targets, civilian apartments and schools and all that kind of shit. No right whatsoever. So no matter what you say, West Webb, and try to bend it and warp it and twist it and spin it, there's no way you're going to get me or probably any reasonable person in this chat to believe that somehow Russia has the fucking right to do what they're doing, because they don't. And Vladimir Putin deserves to be put up on fucking war criminal charges and should probably meet some sort of fate like other people have met. Oh, maybe during the Nuremberg trials. That's what that motherfucker should be facing. So do I want to talk about the Ukraine with you? No, because I'm sure you're going to be an asshole about it. MJ Daniel from up there in Washington State says, I tell MAGA to go away all the time, yet they are still here, but I am not going to stop. Go away, MAGA. Go away. That's what I tell them. For some reason, they don't listen. Luck Dragon says, every time Trucker John says the word, I have to drink, and so now I have to take a nap? What word? Maybe I'm mid-thread because I don't know what word you're talking about. Falcor, I sing in the bathroom. MJ Daniel, hello from the free state of Washington. Nick Rich, 1240. So now I'm 26 minutes behind. I am 26 minutes behind. The Soulcraft says, for sure, John, on the UFO conventions, I'll find out. The big, huge annual one is kind of a big deal, especially with all going on with UAP stuff lately. Jeremy Corbell is out there too. Him and Knapp or Ganap. I would like to go to it, and I would like to share some of my, if I could, if they have the forum for that, I could share some of my UFO stories. Not UFL. But UFO, I could share my stories. I have some. Jill Branton says farmers should be outraged by the $20 billion being sent to Argentina. Yeah, that money could go to a lot of different things. Christina and Son Ghost Squad says this whole thing with ICE is how they're treating people are making me sick. That may be the first thing we really have to work on. How can we stop this? Well, it is making me sick, and people are trying. They're trying to film it, film their cars, film their license plates, try to film their faces, get their and exposing them. People are coming together as communities and trying to warn the neighborhood if they see ICE coming down the street. I guess it comes down to working together. Because Trump has made ICE the biggest, the biggest, most funded organization in the government, other than I guess the overall military budget. But ICE, they're taking money out of all the other things, and they're putting it into ICE. Again, it's like a numbers game. If we can come together. Craig M says, I always thought via Channel 19 truckers were mainly Republican, mega, if you will. What say you? Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's some liberals on there. When I was driving, I would run into a few like-minded people, but it's probably 10-1. Right-wing conservatives at that time. Tea partiers and now it's all maggots and yeah, definitely the liberals on there are at least ones that are vocal enough, are outnumbered. They're a lot of people are kind of like non-political, and the face of trucking has changed a lot over the last 20 years. A lot of people move here and they're able to get CDLs and move here from other countries, and they can get to work and make money. Bethany says, I will be disappointed if Clinton's on the list. See, it is starting to move now again. It starts to move, and then even though I stop it, it'll start moving. Luck Dragon says, okay, it's 12:42. Guys, I really have to go this time. I love you. All right, Luck Dragon, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one. I should be back on Monday at 11 a.m., all right? It'll be probably following right after Hal on Monday. Right after Hal Sparks, for all you sparklers. And thanks, guys. We are operating at a pretty good surplus, like good Democrats. 128 watching, 168 thumbs up, so I do appreciate you helping us to operate like good Democrats with a surplus. Christina Weil, Zoom is an app. I know it's an app, but can I go live on YouTube using the Zoom app on my phone? I thought Zoom went out of business. Though, didn't Zoom go out of business or something? Or am I thinking of something else? Suzanne says, I couldn't cash a check. Bank was closed. Oh, that sucks. Christina Weibel says, you need people's emails to send out invitations to the Zoom you want to do. But is that a YouTube live stream, or is that just a Zoom stream? How do you link it to YouTube, I guess is the question. I just want to do stuff on my live stream here on YouTube. I don't want to use some other format or platform. Joe Bratton, I think Substack allows people to come in, want to say frog. Okay, I don't know about that. And there's Fancy with the $2 super sticker. Thank you, Fancy. Yippee. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate the support of the show. It says, let's celebrate their third super on a live stream. So that was Fancy's third super sticker on a live stream. Congratulations, Fancy. And I do appreciate you. Karen Ames, did you see the tariffs on trucks now? That should piss MAGA off big time. I haven't, because I'm not driving, and I haven't priced trucks or looked at trucks. But yeah, I didn't even think about that. Even the ones that are supposedly made in America, like maybe Freightliner or something, I'm sure they get all kinds of parts and shit from overseas and from China. And it's probably, I mean, trucks were already astronomically, ridiculously priced. I mean, the Freightliner that I bought in 2015, I bought it brand new for $160,000, $165,000, and then 3 years later, I was looking for. I was just looking at some new ones. I was thinking about trading my truck in or whatever, and the same model with some upgrades, but not like $70,000 worth of upgrades. Just 3 years later, they went up from about 160 to 225, 200. So that was in 2018. That's before the pandemic. That's before tariffs and all that shit. So I haven't really even checked prices lately. They're probably up in the 300s or more for the same exact truck that I had. I realize that's 2015. That's 10 years ago now. You know, models, they upgrade and they might have some improvements, but I don't think they have like $100,000 worth of improvements or more. You know, it's bullshit, man. The amount of inflation on these vehicles is fucking crazy. Chris Doug, TJ, the next election day is 1. After that is 2. Election. You don't make any sense. That is 2 election days. There are congressional elections even when it's not the midterms. That's not my fucking point, Chris Doug. Jesus H. Christ. That is not my fucking point. I know we have some pop-up congressional special elections, but the midterms at the federal level, those are all congressional seats that are up in the House of Representatives and in the U.S. Senate. It's 1/3 of the U.S. Senate, and the entire House is up every 2 years at what people are calling the midterms. Why do you always, Chris Doug, you're one of those people that, and you're a loyal listener, and I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being a member, but you seem to be one of the people that always gets under my skin. I'm almost wondering if you're related to WW with your nitpicky bullshit. I'm talking about what people commonly call the midterm elections. We need to call those congressional elections because that is what is on the ballot. Those are all congressional seats that are up in the U.S. House of Rep and about 1/3 of the U.S. Senate. Why do you have to argue with me on that? Why? It's ridiculous. See? And this is what they want. This is what they want. They want us fighting each other so we don't fight them. Let's not play into their hand. Semantics my ass. Wes Webb says 1/3 of the Senate, Johnny. No, I didn't make it sound unimportant. See, I do think you're related. How did I make it sound unimportant? I'm making it sound more important by calling it a congressional election instead of a midterm. A midterm just sounds like, oh, midterm. Oh yeah, that's, you know, you need to emphasize the word congressional. That's how that these are important. These are just as important as the presidential election. Okay, whatever. Call it whatever the fuck you want. I give up. You guys win. Call it whatever you want. Call them the 2 day after elections or whatever the fuck. I don't give a fuck. Jesus Christ. You know, sometimes we got to do things that aren't easy. And if saying the word congressional is one of the hardest things for you, then you probably have a pretty easy life. You shouldn't complain. Pete Dubs, welcome to Driver. Thank you, Pete Dubs. Yippee, Pete Dubs. Welcome to the memberships. Being a member and supporting the show, I do appreciate you for doing that. Chris Doug, the midterm of a president means the opposition party can override a veto if we have the majority. God, you are convoluted. You have such a convoluted, windy way of reasoning things. Jesus H, you're making it too hard. Just replace the word midterm with the word congressional. Is that asking too much? Jesus, motherfucking Christ. Is that asking too much? Just to emphasize the fact that you're voting for Congress. It's not just voting for some park and rec thing to get more pooper scoopers at the park or something. That's what I think people, when they think of midterms, they just think it's some local election that doesn't mean anything. That's why nobody shows up. I'm trying to get people to fucking to care about midterms. I'm trying to get more people to care about it so that they will fucking actually vote in the goddamn things. I don't think it's a big ask to replace the word midterm with congressional. Jesus fucking Christ. No wonder we keep losing. No wonder we can't beat Donald Trump. We can't even grasp a simple concept like that. No wonder we've lost. I think I just figured out why we lose. Because we can't figure out simple fucking concepts. MJ Daniel says, according to something I saw, around 245 million eligible to vote in America, 150 million voted. That is the problem. Right. And I'm trying to get more people out to the polls at these midterm elections. My thought process is, okay, if we call them congressional elections, maybe some people might take it a little bit more seriously, enough to the point that they might actually vote. That's all. That's it. Fucking Hockham's fucking razor, right? Simplest solution's the best. Jesus Christ. Like pulling teeth in here. Karen Ames says, Dems are for the people, for feeding children, healthcare, kindness, not hate. And the Republicans, I believe, are basically just the lapdogs of the oligarchs and the ultra rich. They're lapdogs. They're going along with their masters in hopes of maybe getting a little treat every now and then, and a nice petting of the head. Don't be a lapdog, folks. Hey, Marcus Mills, good to see you. Thanks for coming on into the old chat room. Chris Doug, we're on the same page, TJ, just not reading it the same. Apparently not. Apparently not. And I am not apparently articulate enough for you to see what I'm seeing. So I blame myself. Falkor, Slava Ukraini, absolutely, 100%. Karen Ames, we need to get Barr to taxing the rich 90%. Oh, back. Okay, we need to get back to taxing the rich at 90%. Then we could fund all kinds of wonderful projects and programs. Hell, just I think Biden was able to just raise it from like, what did Trump get it down to, like 19% or something? I think Biden was able to get it back to like 25% or something. And just doing that, we saw, I think, lots of headway in paying down debt and deficit and all that. You know, we started seeing it just from that, just for going from like 19 to 25. Just think if we taxed them at 40% or 45% or 50%. I mean, yeah, it would be. We might be debt free within a few years, you know. P Dubs, that's for the stream. Trucker John, I've got to run. Good show. Thank you, P Dubs. I appreciate you. Hopefully, we'll see you again on the next one on Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Nick Rich says there's 814 billionaires in America, a small number indeed. That's right. There's Ozone Flower says, I'm sorry people are leaving. Well, you know, it is, we are going on, we're over 2 hours, and so, you know, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you were here, and if you got to go, you got to go, you know. Not everyone can just hang out for 2 hours or 2+ hours, you know, especially when the host starts getting cranky and starts yelling at them. Don O'Leary says, did you hear Mike, the pillow guy, is considering to be the Republican for governor in Minnesota? What a effing joke, Tim Walz. I would like to think that Tim Walz would mop the floor with him, you know. Christina Son says, I went down to what doctors said my body weight mass should be, or however they call it, and I looked sickly. You could see all my bones. Oh, wow. I was like, nope. Fancy says Ozempic. Oh, now it's starting to move. The chat's moving again. And it disappeared. Fancy says, my friend told me I looked like a crackhead when I was too small. Jolie says, when I got down to my suggested weight for my height, I looked like a ridiculous bobblehead. Some of us just look our best a little chubby. Chub. Well, I'm about 206 feet, need to be closer to 180. Daniel, I got 2 tickets for that Nebraska game for $100, 8th row, 5-yard line. Wow, those are good. Sound like good seats. Yeah, Zim says in regards to the Epstein files, I really don't care who's on it. They all need to be held accountable. Release the Epstein files. That's what we're all, you know, we're all wanting that. Even people on the right. That's the one thing where we have some overlap between right and left, is getting those Epstein files released. Damon Dog, I'm 6'1", 290, down from 360. Another 50 to go, and I'll be happy. Congratulations, Damon Dog. That's a good loss there. That's 70 pounds. Yeah, 50 to go. You can do it. You can do it, Damon Dog. You can do it. Notorious GRG is here. Jolie, I can't get the link to Patreon to work. on TJ's. I have PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee. I don't. Did I put Patreon? Because I know I had a Patreon. I did do it, but I don't. I don't really go to Patreon, so it might not be. You know what? But if there is a Patreon link in my on my page there, my on YouTube here, I should probably take it off because I don't think it might not work anymore. Because I think they might have taken me off due to inactivity because I just never went over there. So you might want to try PayPal or Buy Me a Coffee. And thank you very much, by the way. Michael Andrews, 4 o'clock. I'm 28 minutes behind. See, all that yelling at you guys that Chris Doug, it slowed me down. I should stop yelling at people if for no other reason than to stop making myself get further behind in the chat. That and plus it's just kind of rude. I should stop being so rude to my guests here. Julie says, "Oh, yeah." So I just addressed that. Yeah, you know what? I should just take that out because I did set up that a long time ago. I think like 2 years ago or maybe longer, and then I just never went on there. It's like it's just too much for me. I really can't do all these things, you know. Because with Patreon, I think they want you to go on there and they want you to log in and they want you to do stuff and post stuff and you know it's just enough for me just to post stuff on YouTube, you know, and then I just sort of am able to share some of that on Facebook and like Substack or whatever. But so I think I should probably just erase that or delete that Patreon because I don't really have interest in. I don't really have an interest in it because it's just too much for me to do all that. DPD 5844 says MAGA rappers are making songs and bragging about lynchings in sundown towns. A sundown town is one where you can visit if you are a person of color, but you better be gone before the sun goes down. Yeah, and I saw that video, and it's horrible, you know. And then we see some recent hangings that are very suspicious. They're disgusting. These people, these right wingers, these maggots. They're totally disgusting. Yeah, Notorious GRG. Yeah, the Patreon is not. I think it's inactive. I think it was. I think they deactivated because I seem to recall that I got an email saying like, you know, my account was due to be deactivated if I didn't do something soon or something, and I never did do it. So and this was like months and months ago that I got that notice. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they deactivated it. And I really don't have plans of reactivating it. Like I said, I just got what I'm doing now is like takes all of my brain power and energy to do. Bethany, that is heartbreaking. Bombing hospital. Yeah, that's what Putin is doing. So he's a fucking terrorist. Putin is. Jolie says $5. One more to the goal. 15 minutes left. I think we did make the goal. But thank you, Jolie. Yippee! I mean, at the point that you did this, we didn't. But I can see that we did. But I haven't scrolled down to all of them yet. So thank you, Jolie. Yippee! Thank you so much. $5 super chat. I mean, and we did make the goal. I just haven't scrolled down to the one that made the goal yet. I think, unless that was it. No, because you said one more to the goal. Let me scroll on down. I should scroll down and think about closing the show out. There's Michael McAndrews, $5 super sticker. Yippee, Michael McAndrews. Thank you so much. Okie dokie, Jolie says. And that's, I guess that was the one. Yeah, that it says, then there's a little thing underneath that says, goal achieved. Thanks to the participants, Trucker John just achieved the goal. Thank you very much, participants. Thank you very much. A big group yippee to all those participants. Help make us the goal and help support the show, keep us going. I do appreciate you. Steven Sayers says, I got to get this nebulizer set up. Everything gets more difficult as we age, it seems. James Jaramillo is here. Falcor, yeah, everyone's saying, congratulating Michael there. Let me skip down. Mr. Spock, burn ban, something about a burn ban. Christina and Son Ghost Squad says, you attach your YouTube and it gives you instructions on StreamYards or Zoom. Then it streams to YouTube and let you do multiple streams. You can stream on Facebook, Instagram, all at the same time. Okay, so I'll check out Zoom. I'm pretty sure I have Zoom loaded on my phone. I think I just did it because a long time ago, I think Andrea was doing Zooms. I think I went in one time and I just never liked it because it's, when there was like a whole bunch of people in it. I don't like it. It just gets too overwhelming for me. But to have if I could do it and have a guest on, then I'll definitely check into it and see how I can do that. So thanks for that. Yeah, I'll check it out. I will check it out. Marsha's here, says, thank you so much, Trucker John. Been making sure to leave a like on your live stream. I appreciate that, Marsha. Thank you so much. Thanks for all those likes. Roxanne79 says, according to Hal, thumbs down ups the algorithm more than thumbs up. Is that what he says? That it's more? I think, I don't know. I thought he was saying that either way was good, but Christina and Son Ghost Squad says, Trucker John, I will send you an email video on how to use StreamYard. Well, I can't use StreamYards on my phone. Can I use StreamYards on my phone? Because that's the one I use and show you how. Oh, well, you're using a phone. I think I tried to use StreamYards on my phone, and it was extremely difficult for me. I think I may have tried to do that, like a long time, when I first started doing it, 2 or 3 years ago. I think I did download the StreamYards app on my phone, and I tried to do it, and I just couldn't figure it out. So that's why when I found this Prism Live app that I'm using, it was so easy to use. It's very easy for dummies like me, and that's why I've stuck with it for probably almost 3 years or whatever now, or however long it's been. Because the Prism Live, it's really, really easy, but also it is limited in what you can do. Fancy says, I'm going to get StreamYard this week when I get around to it. Kiki Street says, Bosch Car Parts Auto Division laying off 11,000 workers. We are just seeing mass layoffs due to this Trump-run economy. And then he'll get on TV and say that the economy is great. Fuck you, Donald Trump. You lying piece of shit. And the worst thing is that his followers will just believe every word he says. Chris Doug beating a dead horse at this point. I guess so, Chris. I'm sorry if I yelled at you. Chris Doug makes for a good live stream. Even though I think you might be Wes Webb, I don't know. You might be WW. Is that one of your other? No, I should. If you're not, and then I apologize for insulting you like that. Ice needs to be melted. Bethany says, when my dad drove truck, he's a Democrat, still a Democrat. He goes to Democratic meetings. Go to your Democratic meetings. They need young, middle-aged people. I know that's a good idea. In fact, someone, I don't know if it was, who was I listening to? It might have been Texas Paul or somebody, or I don't know. Someone was saying, I think it was Texas Paul, to take over the Democratic Party, get involved, go to the Democratic meetings, become involved and active. And if you don't think the Democratic Party is progressive enough, well, get into the Democratic Party and you can help shape it and move it to be more progressive. If you don't think it's liberal enough, you can do that. Now hopefully you're not thinking, it needs to be more conservative. It's already got plenty of conservatives or middle of the roaders or whatever. But yeah, get involved if you want to help. If you want to help the Democratic Party get better and move into the 21st century and get the messaging out and improve messaging, if you have ideas on that, on how to improve messaging, how to, actually beat these Republicans at their own game, if you've got ideas and things, then join a Democratic. I'm sure you can Google it and you can find your nearest Democratic Party meeting place in your town. There's got to be something. Whether it's, and maybe if it's not actually something real, a real place, maybe virtually, there's places online. Yeah, get involved with your Democratic Party and help to shape it to be a better party, something more. I think we need to be more liberal, more progressive, and be the big tent. Jim, John, keep it simple. Yeah, I know. I need to keep it simple. West Webb, midterms are the races that make the most difference, but we don't want everybody to know. All right. I just thought if we called them congressional elections, that would emphasize the congressional part of it. I guess I'm wrong. I feel defeated. I feel so defeated now. I guess I was wrong. I'm giving up. Call them midterms. Let's keep losing. Let's just keep losing. Let's not try to do anything. Hey, but Jim's basis, Trucker John, you are 100% correct on messaging around congressional elections. The Democratic Party is so fucking clueless about messaging and branding, they allow Republicans to define them. So there, at least I got Jen up the base, coming in with something that made sense. Roxanne79 says, I get your point, TJ. We need to draw them in, and congressional sounds meaningful, whereas midterm sounds like a review or test. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I get, yeah. You're in for your 90-day review or whatever. Yeah. Jill Branton says, midterms now, most voters are college educated or old, mostly Dems, and that is messed up. How this ex-Republican can wrap my head around why working people vote for the rich bitches. They buy into the lies. They buy into the propaganda. There's a huge propaganda machine in the media, like Fox News and things of this nature. And they buy into it. Even well-educated people with college degrees, they'll buy into the bullshit. Okay, I am skipping down quite a bit. Zim, you expect people surviving on 1 billion? Yeah. How could you take? Take that billion away. How can you live on less than $1 billion? Roger Dodger says he did, but moderators think rudeness on the rudest stream, no, should be one-way street. It can't be. Hey, Roger Dodger, by the way, good to see you. Thanks for being here. David Windler says, John, you have to listen to Linda Moulton Howe to be in the UFO club. Oh. I do? Linda Moulton Howe. Okay, I'll try to remember that. I'll try to remember it. Christina Weibel, got to take my boy CJ out. Be right back. I am really just skipping down. Zim says, thank you, Joker John. Good chat. Everyone keep safe. And don't forget, be best. Be best. Be best. Hi, I am Melania. And now I am going to plagiarize Michelle Obama with my speech. With my speeches. And just remember, I am extremely intelligent. I can speak 8 different languages. Not fluently, but I can speak them. So be best. And scene. Suzanne, my lunch was very delicious. It was delicious. It was very delicious. Susie Jones says, I never really did Twitter or Facebook. Definitely dumped X. And for as much as I do Facebook, it's not a problem for me. I just I kept my Facebook because I was one of the very first people to go on there from MySpace. I went to Facebook back in 2008 or something like that, and so I have a lot of family in there and friends, and so I just keep it for that purpose mainly. Jill Brent says Karen Ames being on Facebook is why they make money. Get off it, please. Don O'Leary says Jolie is 21 with Diane tonight. Oh, don't tell. I'm just skipping down and I'm just needle dropping. Oh, but I think I am at the bottom of the chat now. I guess Nick Rich left because Karen says have a good one to Nick Rich. MJ Daniels something says LMH heard her all the time on Art Bell in the 90s. Kiki Streets, this is the headline. SCOTUS John Roberts wrote Trump a permission slip to indict Comey. Damon Dog, she was a reporter that first reported cow mutilations in the 70s. She does Ancient Aliens. That was the Laura Moulton Howe, I think you were talking about. Christina Weibel says, be the best liberal, compassionate humans you can be. Seen you all at Diane Russell live tonight, 9 p.m. So let's see, 9 p.m. That would be 6 p.m. my time. Is Diane? I kind of missed what you guys were posting. Is this going to be a 21st century thing, or is it just Diane? Is Diane doing a concert? Because I love it when she does her concerts. Not that I don't love 21st century suffragettes, because I love them too. But whatever, be on the lookout for either Diane or the 21st century suffragettes. Be on the lookout and check out their show. They have a good show. Both, whether it's the politics thing or whether it's just Diane doing singing, either one are great. I guess that's it. I think I'm going to end the show. I think I'm pretty much caught up with you. And I'm going to end the show, and I'm going to work on my demeanor. I'm going to work on my demeanor. All right, as maybe we all should. I don't know. Eastern Standard Time. So I guess it would be 6 o'clock my time. All right, guys. So I guess that's it for today. I'll see you back on Monday. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. We had a pretty good turnout. Thanks to House Sparks. Thank you, House Sparks, for sending your folks my way. Make sure you guys subscribe. We're at over 4,080 now, so let's keep those subs coming. Let's get them going. And just thank you guys so much. And for some of the, if there's some new people still here, sometimes we do have special guests. Like me. I'm actually not a guest. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm pretty much a regular. I'm pretty much the one running the thing behind the scenes, in case you didn't know that. But yeah, guests practically live here. You kidding me? But yeah, thanks for all the newbies that came in today, and we'll see you guys on Monday. And there's me. My name's Paul, but a lot of people just call me the purple beard guy. But my actual God-given name is Paul. So, but yeah, we're part of the team. We're part of the Trucker John team. Me and Tough Cookie, and we are trying to learn what Zoom. What is Zoom? I don't even know what it is. But yeah, we're learning. We're learning, and we're going to try to help Trucker John make a better show. And again, just thanks everyone for being here. All you new folks, and I hope you guys come back. Come on back. So there you go. See, we've got guests. You know, who needs Zoom when I got Tough Cookie and Paul the Purple Beard guy? Zoom is an app. I have it on my phone. I do have it on my phone. I just didn't know that I could like hook YouTube up to it or whatever. All right, guys. So I'll see you guys on Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. In the meantime, keep your powder dry. Keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up. All that good stuff. Tomorrow, I think there's a double header of Texas Paul and Boston Brian. And my favorite, not your guys' favorite, some of you, but my favorite, NFL football. All right, guys. Yeah, so we got to go. I'm going to go hit the road here. I'm going to go do some cab driving and then get ready for tomorrow and watch my football games. And then I'll see you guys Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the new guys and all the old guys and the old gals and the old and new alike. Thank you all for being here. Oh yeah, another thing we do for you guys, it's kind of a traditional thing that I do. I end the show with some words of wisdom. So if you have a pad to write this down, get a pen or whatever in the pad. These are pretty good, these words of wisdom, and you might want to keep them with you. So, all right, you guys ready? Okay, so here is for today's words of wisdom. And it's kind of a checklist thing. So number one, the first thing is...
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid, at least when I was out there driving. John Livestream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John Livestream. Yeah, the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John Livestream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free.
So you wanna take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time. Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.